Welcome to NIOS, dear learners. The subject is Home Science, lesson number 8, Preparation of Food. We are done with part 1 of the lesson. As you must have seen, this is the part 2. Once the preparation is done, we have to quick cook the food. We do the pre-preparation and then cook the food. Once we have to always remember that the action of heat is termed as cooking. Heat is always needed for cooking. There are 3 methods of cooking. Let me explain the 3 of them. The first method is called moist cooking method. In different kind of pan, pressure cooker, etc., water is used for this type of cooking. Under moist category, the first one we are doing is boiling. For example, for potatoes, eggs, etc., we boil these kind of food. The food is immersed in water, sufficient amount of hot water, and the hard food like the eggs and the potato, they become soft and edible. They have to be boiled on 100 degrees Celsius temperature. So that is boiling. Some things that you should remember while you are boiling. Boil the food along with their skin. For example, for potato, keep the skin on and then boil. Do not remove the skin and boil because the nutrient value will be lost. That's why it's important. Keep the skin while you are boiling. Once the potato or the eggs have been boiled, you can remove the skin. Second thing, boil in a covered utensil. It minimizes and keeps evaporation. Avoid excessive boiling. Don't excessively boil the potatoes or any other vegetable that you are boiling because it will disintegrate the food. Just boil to the minimum value that is needed. Now let's come to the second one, simmering. Remember boiling? This is different from boiling. You can do it in a pan or anything like that. Food is cooked with medium amount of water, providing heat also. The temperature is 95. Boiling is 100 temperature, simmering is 95 temperature. Remember that. This simmering is like making a gravy. Soft. You don't have to excessively add water to it. It has to be medium quantity of water, not too much. Some things that you need to remember while simmering. Do not bring the food to a boiling temperature. Boiling temperature, you don't have to do that. And secondly, don't cover the food while cooking. These 2 things you have to remember. Don't cover the food because then the temperature will not rise and food will not be cooked properly. And 95 degrees Celsius. Now, let's come to poaching. In a pan with medium amount of water, minimum amount of liquid and temperature also minimum amount, you can poach eggs, fruits, fish, etc. For example, if you are poaching an egg, you can break the egg in the advance, take the yolk of the egg and then put it inside the little bit of oil, so it will get poached. So it will automatically fluff up a little and then you can add salt and have the soft, smooth edge of the egg. Now let's come to the fourth one. It's called stewing. Stewing is a gentle method of cooking with pan and lid. The temperature that you cook it in, be it like spinach, cauliflower, etc., you cook it in water. It usually softens the food. The temperature you use in the pan is 98 and it provides you soft food. Overcooking can lose the nutrients, so don't overcook. So first category is done. Let's discuss the dry heat, the dry heating category. The first one is called roasting. So roasting is brought in direct heat contact. For example, you buy a chicken, you coat it with oil and then you put it into heat. So when it is heated, the chicken turns brown and adds flavor to it. So that is roasting. You can do roasting for chicken, for kebabs, for meat, for brinjal. Brinjal is roasted and you put it on the gas and you can roast it and it becomes softer and tastier to eat. Or you can roast corn. Corn is also roasted and then you can add some lemon to it and eat. Now let's come to grilling and broiling. Both are one and the same thing, broiling and grilling. The food which is placed on a metal grid. You might have seen a metal grid. For example, even sandwiches, they are grilled sometimes in grilling machine, right? So that's called grilling. Even broiling can be done, chicken can be made, and it's very tasty to eat grilled food. Next is baking. Baking involves use of oven and baked food like crisp brown on top, soft and porous on the inside, usually cooked in microwaves or ovens. It's porous inside and soft on the top, cakes, biscuits, etc. Toasting. Bread slices, they are kept inside the grilling toaster, and there's a heat element in both. It browns the bread. When the green light turns on, you can take out the bread and you can see that the bread has turned a little brown and it's very tasty to eat. So now the next category, with fats. 3 kind of foods can be prepared. The first one under this is called deep frying, when the food is partially or fully immersed in hot fat oil till it turns brown. For example, potato, it is deep fried, it's white and later on it turns a little yellowish brown. So it's called deep frying. The next category is shallow frying. In the deep frying category, we used a lot of oil, whereas in shallow frying, we used less amount of oil and we use frying pan or tawa to do the frying. Like for example, for dosa, paratha, chila, omelette, etc. Less oil. Third one is called sauteing. In the first category, deep frying, we used a lot of oil. In shallow frying, we used less oil, whereas in sauteing, we used a very minimum amount of oil and we tossed the vegetables gently and evenly in the pan. Next one is called dry frying. Dry frying usually means that, for example, we buy some chicken or bacon which already has its own fat. So when we don't need to add any extra fat while we are cooking it in the pan, it secretes its own oil, and that's the method called dry frying. So for a very long time we have been using gas, etc. to cook food, but there is recent technology now called microwave cooking. It's fairly recent method of cooking. As you can see it in the picture, this is a microwave wherein cooking can be done. It has electromagnetic rays, anything, vegetables, chicken, etc. You can set the timer and the heat prepares the food with vibration of the food. The next category is solar cooking. It's a natural way of cooking. Solar energy is primary source. In any place where there is solar panels, cooking can be done. A black box can be taken and food products can be put in, and with the power of solar cooking, the food can be cooked. Thank you.